Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to normal photos that have disturbing backstories. Now, this is going to be fun. Like, I love this kind of thing. Excuse me, just the like trying to predict what the story is behind a photo. And, you know, like, it's weird because they do say a photo is worth 1,000 words, but, you know, sometimes you genuinely cannot think about or predict the thoughts that are going through, you know, the subject, whoever's in the photo. You don't know what they're thinking, what they're going through, who they are. It just could be a million different things. And yeah, these types of videos I really enjoy. This is something I could easily watch in my spare time. It's going to be a good one. Let's do it.
Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. This photo shows the Russian ambassador to Turkey, Andrei Karlov, who's doing a conference at an art gallery. The man standing behind him is about to assassinate him.
No.
This photo was found on the camera of two vacationers who were swept away by the 2004 tsunami, which claimed the lives of over 240,000 people. The man who...
What? 240,000?
Which claimed the lives of vacationers who... This photo was found on the camera of two vacationers who were swept away by the 2004 tsunami, which claimed the lives of over 240,000 people. The man who took the photograph of this bear is Darsh Patel, a 22-year-old who went hiking with some friends. Shortly after taking it, he was killed by the same bear.
No
this picture was
way.
taken by the crew of a ship who saw this 11-year-old girl floating on a disintegrating float. Her whole family was murdered on a sailboat by the hired captain who left her to drown on the sinking boat. She drifted for 4 days with no food, no water, and sunlight beating on her skin. When the captain heard she survived, he killed himself.
Jesus Christ. Wow. What kind of monster could do that?
This shadow is permanently etched on the steps of Hiroshima following the nuclear explosion that killed over 70,000 people. The boy in this photo is Estevan Reiner. The Nazis who took his photo made him put this uniform on, smile for the picture, and knew exactly what his fate would be. 2 weeks later, he was killed in a gas chamber. A similar story for this girl whose photo was just taken by a Nazi photographer after Germany had just invaded Poland. You can tell by her smile that she had no idea what was to come. This photo shows three young girls
Humans, man, we can be really, really evil. We really can.
Smiling together for a selfie. On the right hand side of the photo, you can see a light which is the headlight of a train which hits them moments later. While this photo appears to be just an ordinary large class photo, the two boys at the top left are responsible for the Columbine High School shooting, which at the time was the worst high school shooting in American history and killed 12 students and 1 teacher. This Snapchat was the last photo ever taken of Sydney Loof, a woman who was killed by her Tinder date. Her body was cut into 14 different pieces, and when it was brought back to the morgue, it was in 6 different bags. This man was transferring oxygen tanks for 12 boys and their coach. He didn't have enough oxygen for himself, however, and died after losing consciousness in one of the cave's passageways. This man is Issei Sagawa, an actual cannibal from Japan. This photo was taken by a Japanese magazine after he was released from prison for insanity. The man in this photo, Franklin Floyd, married a woman and had custody over her children while she was in prison for 30 days. The girl in this photo is one of her children, whom Floyd kidnapped to start a new life with. He left the other siblings behind, and after this photo was taken, he went to another state, changed both of their names, and claimed her as his biological daughter. Later, he went on to marry her.
That is just... Ugh. I hope he's in prison, man. Hope he's in prison.
After this photo was taken, a bomb went off in the red car beside the boy on his dad's shoulders. The boy and the father miraculously...
This is in Ireland, I think, isn't it? I think it was an IRA bombing.
Survived. However, the cameraman and 28 others died, while 220 people were injured. The woman in red standing on the railing is a Japanese exchange student. Right after this photo was taken, she lost her footing and was swept over Niagara Falls and fell to her death. The man in this photo is David Johnston, 13 hours before the eruption of Mount St. Helens in the 1980s. His last words over the radio were "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it," before he passed away and his remains were never found. The man in this photo is Tyler Hadley, who just before this photo was taken, murdered both of his parents and left their dead bodies in the house and proceeded to throw a house party. This is...
Damn. He threw a party after doing that to his parents. Man, there are some real psychos out there, man. You just gotta hope and pray you never run into them or like, you know, invite them into your life unknowingly. Jeez, man.
This is former NBA player Mark Jackson's basketball card. In the background are the Menendez brothers. They're sitting courtside shortly after killing their parents and just before getting arrested. The 17-year-old who took this photo told his family members that he planned to hike the stairway to heaven. He texted multiple pictures before his disappearance, and shortly after, the family noticed a man in this photo. While this photo may seem like an ordinary picture of footprints in the sand, they actually belong to a 4-year-old little girl who shortly after this photo was taken, drowned in the ocean. Damn. The two brothers in this photo are at Sequoia National Park. This photo was taken moments before they were both struck by lightning, and both shockingly survived. Wow. There was a tradition in Victorian England
miracle
to take photos of dead people, often dressed in their best clothes, and pose as if they were taking a family portrait. If you look at this photo for long enough, you'll notice something is a little off about one of the children. The man who took this photo...
Oh man, this is genuinely creepy. Like, yeah, this is... I don't usually get creeped out by these types of videos, but this is doing it. What about you guys?
Of his wife scuba diving off the Australian coast, also managed to take a photo of Tina Watson, who was drowned by her husband that day in 2003. Dutch teenager Gary Slock and his mother Petra posted this photo to Facebook moments before their plane was shot down by Russians, killing all 298 people aboard.
Oh my god.
At first glance, it looks like this
But why did they shoot it down?
Woman is resting peacefully, until you notice that that's a car roof twisted around her like bed sheets. She jumped from the top of the Empire State Building and happened to land in this very graceful, peaceful way. This is the last photo ever taken of 18-year-old Jolie Callan, who after this photo was taken was shot twice in the head and pushed off of the cliff by her ex-boyfriend. While this may seem like a normal family photo, just below the wife is a rattlesnake about to strike her arm. She was bitten and survived, but the dog died. This photo shows a man and a woman on the 70s game show, The Dating Game.
I know this guy.
The man in this photo who won the date with the woman is Rodney Alcala, a famous serial killer. Cheryl Bradshaw, the woman, found...
I think she says no to him, doesn't she? Like, I mean, she chooses him on the show, but she doesn't end up meeting him. Probably saved her life.
Him extremely creepy, and after the camera stopped rolling, refused to go on a date with him, possibly saving her life. This photo shows 1954 Hermosa Beach, California. This couple's 19-month-old son was dragged out to sea. This shows George W. Bush receiving news of the 9/11 attacks while reading to a group of school children. While this photo may seem like an ordinary cop, he actually just got arrested after killing 77 people and injuring 250 more. He traveled to an island where a youth camp was held and started shooting at random. Children who didn't know he was the shooter went to him for protection because he was dressed like a cop, and he shot them immediately.
You evil bastard. I hope he's roasting in hell right now. Burning.
Their only form of escape was swimming off the island. Blanche Monnier was a free woman until she began dating a man that her mother didn't approve of. To maintain control of Blanche, she chained her to this bed for 25 years and nearly starved her to death. This painting of a dog looking into a gramophone is titled His Master's Voice, and it's based off the painter inheriting his brother's dog, and the brother had just passed away. He noticed that the dog became intrigued when he played recordings of his brother's voice. This photo shows John Lennon.
That photo later became the logo for like a well-known British music store chain called HMV, like HMV, His Master's Voice.
Signing a copy of his latest album, Double Fantasy, for a fan. The man on his right was his killer. This photo was taken by two girls out for a walk on the Monon High Bridge in Indiana. They were both found dead the following day. The man in this photo was presumed to be their killer, but he was never found. These teeth were removed from the side of a denture clinic in Nova Scotia. The owner of this place killed 22 people in the worst mass shooting in Canadian history. While some people may find clowns frightening, they're still normal. This photo shows John Wayne Gacy, or Pogo the Clown, who was a convicted serial killer and rapist in the 1970s. Gacy was convicted of sexually assaulting and murdering over 30 boys and became known as the Killer Clown. This security cam shows two 10-year-old boys abducting 3-year-old James Berger in a mall in England. The two
James Bulger, but he doesn't know, I guess. Yeah, the story of this poor kid, it's honestly horrific. It really is. If you know what they did to him and the fact that they got released with new identities, the killers, honestly, it makes me sick.
Boys took him on a 2.5-mile walk and tortured him in ways that I will not mention, leaving his body on a railroad track. This photo was found on a damaged
in pieces
camera that had gone through the washing machine at the home of Travis Alexander. His girlfriend held him at gunpoint and then shot him to death after the photo was taken. she took many other photos. This girl is Tereska, who grew up in a Nazi concentration camp and lived in a home for disturbed children after World War II. When asked to draw what home looks like, she drew this sporadic tunnel of lines. Ronaldo Dogsa, a politician in the Philippines, took a picture of his family right before he was assassinated on New Year's Day in 2011. The man in the back shot him twice while his family was forced to watch. The man holding the puppy is Yukio Araki, a kamikaze pilot who just one day later would crash into the USS Brian, killing 66 of the crew members and taking his own life. Yukio was only 17 years old, knowing completely well that he'd be going
17. Wow. Wow, man. 17.
to his death the next day. The smiling man in this photo is Nazi Joseph Goebbels, who is in a 1933 League of Nations meeting, and in the next photo, his expression completely changes. His expression changes from cheerful to hatred because someone told him that the photographer was of Jewish descent. This seemingly normal photo shows three men in judo attire. The man on the right, however, is Osama bin Laden, the terrorist responsible for the 9/11 attacks on New York City.
Wow. Wow. Whew. That was intense, man. That was intense. Honestly, like, probably one of the first times that, you know, I think it was the cumulative, like, just story after story after story. And it was very, very heavy stuff. Well done to Jack Neal on this video. Great job, man. Creeped me out for sure. Just the horrificness of what humanity is capable of never ceases to amaze me. It's just fucked up stuff, man. Crazy. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.